We are live. Are we live on YouTube? Do we know?
We are live on YouTube.
All right. Well, we'll hit the top of the hour open in 17 seconds. Cody, you ready? Skipjack?
Sure.
So we got the checker just flew.
Yep.
All Star. Perfect timing.
Who's going to punch who? All right. 5,
Right.
4, 3, 2.
Yes, it's true that my engineer is actually from SpaceX. He just came for this race. I mean, I really hope and I want to believe that this is going to bring a lot of joy to Israeli people.
The rule is pretty black and white, and those cars should have been in the last chance qualifier.
So if I was one of the other competitors, I would complain the same way.
Try again.
On the Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire.
Rock on, baby!
I am serious. Here's the Freaks.
All right, Freak Nation. So Christopher Bell gets himself a NASCAR Cup Series win, but I got news for you, Freak Nation. There's a crap ton of other things that are happening outside of North Wilkes-Barre, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to be talking about coming up in the next couple of hours, Freak Nation. Of course, it's going to be regarding the Indy 500, and it's qualifying with a young man, a rookie from Tel Aviv, Israel. That's right. That's the news coming out of the Motorsports Planet on a Sunday afternoon. It's not Christopher Bell's win. And what was it, Michael Waltrip's little drop of the yellow flag, of the celebrity yellow flag for this all-star race? It was just all and not star, or was it just star and not all? The hell was it?
That was a clown show. That's what that was.
It
Right.
was a clown
Absolute
show.
flipping clown show. Now might have Chris Blair on later in the show. He joined us on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Wide Technology Raceway is the king of pyrotechnics at racetracks. North Wilkes-Barre tried to do the same thing with their All-Star Race silly ass Mikey Waltrip caution flag and threw the pyrotechnics to throw a caution flag. Thank God we don't have to talk about.
Explain that again.
Pyro for a caution flag?
Yes, Michael Waltrip was up in the flag stand booth, and he was the one in charge of throwing this stupid, ridiculous promoter's caution for this North Wilkes-Barre race. He throws the caution flag. He drops the caution flag on the freaking racetrack, and then there's pyro that goes up. Like, thank God we don't have to talk about that much. We have so much more to talk about than the silly clown show at North Wilkes-Barre.
Yes, thank you, Indy 500. Thank you, Indy 500 qualifying, for giving us so many storylines. Thank you, Team Penske, for allegedly cheating, because we will get into that
Freak
as well.
Nation, this time a year ago, we were talking about Roger Penske's team cheating. And now here we are again. Now that we've got every freaking position filled for the 2025 Indianapolis 500, we're talking about Roger Penske's team again cheating.
Another year, another Penske scandal. There's a t-shirt. Who's making t-shirts for this week's Indy 500? I will wear that on Carb Day. Another year, another Penske scandal.
So Freak Nation, we've got Alex. We have Pato O'Ward at the post-qualifying press conference talking about his issues that he's got with Penske Racing and how they should have been relegated to the last chance qualifier, which again occupied a whole hell of a lot of afternoon on a Sunday. But no, they get to start, not up front, but certainly a hell of a lot more up front than they do at 30, 31, 32, and 33, ladies and gentlemen.
So last year, Team Penske dominated and had the entire front row to themselves. Clear view going into turn one for 200 laps. Yeah, fast forward 1 year. Hey, how you doing? Walking on behind me. Fast forward 1 year, and here we are. They occupy row 12, not row 1, but row 12. So it's just, Do we want to get into it right now? Or do we not want to get into this? Okay, so the bottom line is this. We had qualifying was set for the 109th running of the Indy 500 on Saturday, positions 13 through 30, completely guaranteed. Once you set your time and you were stable in that zone, boom, you were guaranteed into the race by Sunday. Sunday was the battle for the Fast 12, who's going to run for the pole, the Fast 6, and then also that last row, who's going to be basically celebrating in the last row party come Thursday night, Wednesday night. So everything was set, everything was good, but all of a sudden we're getting set for the Fast 12 qualifying, who's going to run for the pole. And we see on TV, at least, the Penske car is the number 2 of Joseph Newgarden and the number 12 of Will Power being taken out of line. Right. The long and short of it, and we'll have some audio here from Tim Cindric to do at least the beginning of the explanation. The attenuator, the rear attenuator of both cars was modified. You can't do that. It's in the rule book, the INDYCAR rule book, that you cannot modify the rear attenuator. There's certain things you can modify on the car, but the attenuator in particular is one that is a big no-no. So the 12 car went through, that's Will Power's car, and it was not noticed. Or at least I think Rocket with INDYCAR Tech, he had noticed it, he questioned it, and he thought, let's see what happens later on. The 2 car then went through. It looked exactly the same. Basically, there's a seam between 2 carbon fiber pieces. The seam was kind of molded together pretty nicely. That's not allowed to happen. That means they filled the seam. For what reason? Potentially an aerodynamic advantage. Who knows? They modified it, though, when they were not supposed to do so. So then fast forward to, I should probably read the exact messaging that I was given, but I got some insight from somebody who was on pit lane standing right next to one team owner named Chip Ganassi, and he was putting his finger in the chest of somebody with INDYCAR Tech saying, how the F did they get away with everything? They effing get away with everything. If you don't say something, I'm going to say something. As that was going on, the cars were being pulled out, and guess what? Penske was given the option. Do you want to run and then fail post-qualifying tech, or do you want to just withdraw the cars now? They chose to withdraw, but here we are in the middle of a scandal. Was this cheating or not? It was against the rule book. Bottom line, this should not have happened. Did this happen on day 1 of qualifying? And if so, are we going to be able to know that that's the reason why they're in the Fast 12? Pato O'Ward, we'll hear audio from him. He's going to be saying, this is not right. They should have been relegated to the LCQ, the last row qualifying. Whoa, drama. Indy 500 every year.
Okay, Richie Crasher. So if they would have went ahead and ran, okay, and instead of pulling their cars out of line, they would have went ahead and ran. And the issue with Tech, they would have been, popped. Would they have then been put into the last chance qualifier? Or would they have then be put in the back row? Do we know what that answer is?
100% do we know that answer? No, but based on some things that Doug Bowles said to some of the media members in the garage area to Sunday after qualifying was 100% official, he said, and I'm completely paraphrasing, that because these Penske cars of the 12 and the 2, they passed pre and post tech on Saturday, which put them in that top 12 running for the pole position for Sunday. Because they had passed tech and nothing was pointed out on Saturday, then no, the argument can also be made that, yeah, they're going to keep those top 12 spots. Doesn't make anybody else in the paddock any happier, but that's kind of the reasoning that we're going off of now. Nothing else was brought up on Saturday, so Saturday stays.
Yeah, my question, this is, I think a lot of people are pointing this out. Blake in our chat says they should have 100% been disqualified from the entire thing. Pato O'Ward said the same thing.
From the entire thing?
From the entire
thing, which is they start dead last.
Okay, from that standpoint. Okay, gotcha. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, they start dead last. And I was scrolling through a lot of the IndyCar Reddit page. I wanted to see people's reaction, and every single one of them said the same thing, which is basically like they 100% agree with Pato that they should have been disqualifying the whole thing, because it throws this black cloud over their entire qualifying, because we do not know for sure if they were compliant on Saturday. Yes, they did pass tech, but maybe it was just overlooked.
Like it was on Sunday.
They overlooked Will Power at first, right? Mm-hmm. And so as a sport, as Penske, as the ownership of this sport, what do you do? Like, it's like anything Penske does this weekend, has done this weekend, and will do next week is completely, it doesn't mean anything now. at this point. That's what IndyCar is saying to me, but we're just allowing them to still partake in that top 12. Whereas like I was talking to you, Crash, before the show, which is if this were to happen in any other IndyCar qualifying session where they have their normal 3 sections of qualifying, Q1, Q2, Q3, and you get bumped and you get caught in post-race, you get disqualified the entire session, right? You just don't get bumped to where you hate it. So if you get disqualified afterwards, you're starting at the back.
Yep.
Why that's not the case here is mind-boggling, because that's all they did, right? They went to Parc Fermé basically after Saturday, for a lack of a better term, and they got caught cheating, and they get no repercussions until maybe after the Indy 500. We'll see.
Yes, that was another thing. Thank you for bringing that up, that Doug Bowles also said that potential penalties from this may not come until after the race. Wait, what? So actually, you're a potential race winner because Will Power and Joseph Newgarden have a very good shot of winning the 109th Indy 500. Joseph going 3 in a row, potentially. He goes 3 in a row, and then he might be penalized after making history.
Insane.
Let me just set this up for you, Freak Nation. The biggest story coming out of Indy 500 qualifying on Sunday should be a rookie driver out of Israel doing something that
I put a poll out about that, and we can get to that in a little bit. Yeah.
Mario Andretti never did it. AJ Foyt, Alex Palou. I could go on and on and on. This rookie driver who is sitting in the back end of points for the IndyCar series, I don't even know if he's a top 10 or top 15. But Robert Shwartzman goes out and grabs the pole away from all of these happy bastards, and so far hasn't been caught cheating like any of these other Penske drivers have. That should be your freaking story.
Yes.
With all the madness that's going on around this planet right now with that country,
Israel,
we should be celebrating that this young man had the waves to go out there and win the pole. I understand to win the pole for the 109th running of the Indy 500. This is what we're going to do, Freak Nation. We're going to hear from Robert Shwartzman. He's going to join us for about 10 minutes shortly after he grabbed the pole for the Indy 500. But I also want to hear from Pato O'Ward and Tim Cindric with Penske Racing. It's coming up next. SpeedFreaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studio.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
For whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BACK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BACK to 42424. That's back to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
This is Wide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1.25 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, this segment brought to you by good friends at Straight Talk. Need more data to stream the freaks, your favorite jams? Switch to Straight Talk and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to hear from rookie Indy 500 pole sitter Robert Shwartzman will be here in the Freak Nation. There is so much significance of what he did today, not just being the rookie or a rookie, the first rookie to ever set on a pole. Ever. There's been rookies.
Wait, no.
Rookie to set on a pole for the Indy 500.
The first since 1983, Teo Fabi.
He was a rook?
Yes. That was the last time a rookie sat on the pole was 42 years ago, and that was Teo Fabi.
All right, good. Sorry, Teo Fabi.
There's been a few rookies sitting on the pole. I mean, technically.
The modern era, whatever the hell. That's not even modern era, no, is it? Anyway, regardless, the dude is a rookie. He's sitting crapping points for the IndyCar series, goes out and grabs the pole over, Penske drivers, Ganassi drivers, Meyer-Shank racing drivers, Graham Rahal or Rahal Letterman drivers.
Arrow McLaren.
I texted you guys that earlier today, and I was like, how crazy of a front row do we get for this race? We have the rookie on the pole. Mm-hmm. We have a 48-year-old two-time Indy 500 winner.
Part-time driver
shows up and goes P2.
Takuma
Sato. And then Pato O'Ward is P3 on the front row as well. Finished second twice at the Indy 500. So what a front row, man. I'm so excited for this race for multiple reasons. But I couldn't have asked for a better qualifying storylines than what we got.
Agreed.
We were so gripping, so hard this on Sunday afternoon when there's just one driver that's not going to make it into the Indy 500. And unfortunately, Crasher, it is
Jacob Abel.
Imagine, like back in the day, Crasher, when there were double-digit cars that couldn't make it into the Indy 500. I mean, it was a bump day weekend back in the day.
Yes. And I mean, there's so many scenarios that could have gone on today had maybe the rule book been looked at a little differently or treated a little differently. But yes, the Penske team has been in that scenario. They have been there where their cars, none of them made the field for the Indy 500. So yeah, it's brutal. It's a really brutal feeling. Ask, said Penske drivers, Alonso Jr. being one of them. Ask Fernando Alonso. Ask Pato O'Ward. He's been on the outside looking in as well. So it's a horrible feeling, and it sucks that it was just one guy. But Jacob Abel's going to be in a car in the Indy 500 sooner than later.
Austin Cindric, who stepped down from one position with Penske Racing. Tim Cindric, who stepped down from his one position with Penske Racing, maybe to step back in the background a little bit. But my goodness, after what happened today, dude is back in front of the camera. Unfortunately,
no background today.
Defending what happened this afternoon, where again, Roger Penske drivers, the dude who owns the IndyCar series, owns Indianapolis Motor Speedway, has won multiple championships in the NASCAR Cup Series, sports car, the IndyCar series. His drivers were popped again, like last year.
Seems to be a little bit of it just doesn't seem right. Own the series, get popped for cheating. Something's not adding up.
Tim Cindric, Austin Cindric's dad, he's still with Penske, but Indianapolis Motor Speedway's interview crew caught up with Tim Cindric to discuss with him these issues with the adjustments on the car.
Essentially, we'd gone through inspection with the 12 car, and when the 2 car got to inspection, there was a seam that had been filled. You saw it on television there that the officials didn't like. And unfortunately, once you go through inspection, you're only allowed to fix the wing angle on the front and rear wing and do the tire pressures and so forth. So with all the will in the world to, get it to where it would pass inspection, it was too late to do that. So if I was one of the other competitors, I would complain the same way that, we were obviously willing to fix that and go, do something basically that conformed in the eyes of the officials. Internally there's a bit of an arbitrary thing, because I went back and actually looked at the 3 car that crashed this morning, and it was different. In other words, it was fine. So, internally, we need to have a bit better process, but if you don't pass inspection at that point in time, you don't get the chance to go. And there was no use really putting one of our cars or both of our cars out there and doing a qualifying run and put our drivers at risk if we knew that it essentially hadn't passed inspection on the way through.
Yeah, well, they knew the cars were both still in pit lane. So again, there's still something lost in translation here. However, when Joseph Newgarden's car, when basically that whole group was told, this isn't going to fly, you need to call Kyle Moyer with the 12 car in pit lane right now and tell them to back off. I guess that's essentially when everything came to be, but still, it's just, they know they messed with something that was not supposed to be altered, not supposed to be touched whatsoever, yet they did. There's something that doesn't sit right with that going into the world's biggest race. Come on, Team Penske, you're better than that. You're Penske perfect. Yet right now you're showing Penske privilege, and it's not fair. Last year there was a scandal. What really was the punishment? Fast forward to 2025, big scandal with the biggest race of the year, not just St. Peter, Long Beach. What's really the punishment? Yet we're not going to find out until potentially post-race when maybe one of your drivers takes home the biggest trophy. Make this make sense.
Richie, hold on just a second before we get it. I know you've got something to say. And some of you may be asking, well, what's the big deal here? Because if you saw, my apologies for not having the graphic of this portion of the side of the car showing you where this attenuator is, where it's located. When you have positions that are determined by thousandths of a second, and if the issue with this attenuator provided just the slightest bit of aerodynamic advantage to this race team, then who knows how much of it they could have. They were in the fast 12.
They were in the fast 12, all of their cars. Now, Tim Cindric did confirm right there that after Scott McLaughlin's crash on Sunday in practice, that Scott's attenuator was in 2 different pieces that were
allegedly
not filled. Allegedly, that is a good point. That were not, the seam between these 2 pieces of carbon fiber was not sealed.
Right.
So yeah, it's incredibly frustrating for the fan base, for media. I still feel like we're not getting straight answers. And in my opinion, this leads to now, I believe we need to have video cameras in every pre and post race tech qualifying scenario. We need to know, was this present? Was this seam filled on these cars before qualifying on Saturday? Because if so, whole nother ball game going on.
The question I have too is, like, did they do this as a way to try and gain a competitive advantage without knowing that they were breaking the rules, or did they go about this very, very intentionally, right? Intentionality. And did they go about knowing that what they were doing was breaking the rules and they try to get away with it? Because, and what tells me that they did this 100% intentionally, knowing they broke the rules, is Will Power got through fine. They didn't do anything until somebody else spoke up.
Tech didn't do anything.
Yes.
Even though Rocket with INDYCAR Tech said that he did notice something was a little fishy, but the car went through.
Originally, yes.
When he noticed the same fishiness in the attenuator with Newgarden's car, then he's like, guys, we got to call these.
They weren't originally going to say anything or do anything about it, and which tells me that they did this knowing full well what they were doing, and then what they were doing was wrong, and they got caught. And there's got to be more repercussions, like you said, Crasher, than just, you can start 12th in the Indianapolis 500.
Which is top half of the field.
That is not a punishment, man. It's not for cheating.
No,
that doesn't happen in any other sport. Hey, you cheated. You took steroids.
You can still start.
You can play next week.
Yeah.
Or we'll make a decision after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pato O'Ward, who is sitting on Crasher.
Well, I was just going to say, another reason why this makes such a big deal in continuing to start in the front half of the field is We're talking in the hybrid era now. We have more weight on each one of these Indy cars. We didn't have this at last year's Indy 500. So additional weight, 33 cars on the field, on the track for the 109th running. That green flag goes down. There's always air turbulence. And that's one of the most dangerous things and one of the most hypnotic things that comes out of the opening lap going into turn one at every year's Indy 500. But with this added weight times 33, the cars in the back half of the field have an even greater disadvantage, arguably. So these guys starting up front again, there's advantage on top of advantage. It's not fair.
All right, we're going to wait until the next segment to get to Pato O'Ward because we've got so much to say. If you missed it, Freak Nation, a rookie, and I see who said this, Bob Dole.
Hey, welcome back.
On YouTube says, are we pretending the Shwartzman car is legal? LOL. Dude was 22nd all week and magically 3 miles per hour faster than the field and his team car.
Because of who his engineer, yes, because of who his engineer was, I'm going to say no. We'll get to that later.
His engineer has connections to literal rockets. Pato O'Ward's got something to say about Roger Penske and his team, and we'll also hear from Robert Shwartzman, your rookie pole sitter for the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. Christopher Bell wins the All Star Race. Huh? What?
Sorry, I just woke up.
We'll also hear from Chris Dyson, TransAm champion, multi-times over back at a race car. More Freaks coming up.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, get this. General Tire has launched a comprehensive Shield Plus Advantage plan for passenger and light truck tires. What that means for you is when you purchase General Tires, the Shield Plus Advantage plan lets you enjoy a complete package of multiple warranties and coverage to get the most from your tires. The plan applies to all General Tire passenger and light truck tires purchased as replacements in the U.S. and Canada with DOT serial numbers. For more information, hit them up on GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for 2 decades.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for a professional detailer shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
This is Wide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, You can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-5222. That's 800-885-5222. Again, that's 800-885-5222.
For whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Thank you, Lucas Oil, for making this thing possible. Go to lucasoil.com to keep a line of products to keep inside your engine, outside your engine, fat and happy. What about the exterior? Go with Lucas Oil. Speed Wax, lucasoil.com. That's lucasoil.com. Christopher Bell wins the All Star Race at North Wilkesboro, but Michael Waltrip seems to have stole all the headlines with this bogus yellow that he dropped. Literally dropped on the freaking track.
Kenny, it's not bogus. It was allowed. It was the promoter's caution.
Copy.
It's not bogus.
All right. But I digress. The story for this weekend regarding motorsports, frankly, is what's transpired over the last 72 hours with the INDYCAR series, where it's gripped all of motorsports. When you see INDYCAR out trending NASCAR, that doesn't happen.
Yep.
That doesn't happen. You'll see it on Sunday afternoon. You'll see INDYCAR pegging Twitter, and then it'll drop off, and up will come the Charlotte 600. All right.
Oh, talking about this coming weekend.
Yeah, this coming weekend.
Yes.
But over the weekend here, you didn't even know there was an all-star race going on with the NASCAR Cup Series because of the headlines that the INDYCAR Series continue to steal from NASCAR, the behemoth. And they continue to steal. There's a gentleman by the name of Pato O'Ward there who many folks think is the one driver that would help put INDYCAR in the stratosphere, at least in his home country of Mexico. Typically, when he gets on a microphone and there's something to say, he's going to say it. And
He's pretty blunt.
And he has a lot to say about the alleged cheating with Roger Penske's drivers for Indy 500 qualifying. This is Pato O'Ward post-qualifying at Indianapolis Motor Speedway talking about how he feels about Roger Penske's cars getting popped.
I mean, they weren't accidentally doing it because they had the blowtorch right there in order to get it out. So, I feel for Abel and for everybody that did the disqualifications or the last chance qualifying. If those cars weren't in regulations, I'm not an engineer, so I can't tell you what they were doing, how much speed that is, or if it is any speed. But obviously, it's not in regulation, and the rule is pretty black and white. And those cars should have been in the last chance qualifier. Like those cars should have never. Obviously they didn't do anything in the Fast 12, but they should have been brought into the LCQ because they had that yesterday, I guarantee you, and until someone pointed it out today. So those cars, if they're disqualified today, they should have been disqualified yesterday. So it's a shame, really, because I don't think they don't need to be doing that stuff. Like they're a great team, they've got great drivers. Why are you doing that? Makes no sense.
Yep.
That's what I'd like Pato O'Ward when he drops truth out there. And you've got these, like you said, why do they need to do this? Who is it? Who has their finger on these issues with these race cars to where they feel like they need to?
Clearly, even Tim Cindric in his quote that we played earlier as well, he said, we apparently have an internal issue. Apparently, especially if, like he claimed, this welding together of the two carbon fiber pieces on the back of the rear attenuator or on the side of the rear attenuator was not done so to Scott McLaughlin's car. what's going on that certain pieces are being modified in the Penske organization and only certain drivers are getting those modified pieces. It's very.
Can you share with the Freak Nation, Crasher, what an attenuator is and why do we keep talking about this and the importance of the attenuator for an IndyCar?
The importance of the attenuator for an IndyCar, I'm not 100% sure of, but this is the bottom. This is what holds the back wing on. I mean, a lot of downforce is consistent here. Holds the back wing onto the base of the IndyCar. So in this particular part, at least from my very basic knowledge, there are two pieces of carbon fiber that come together, but there's a seam in there that is not fully flush. The Penske team allegedly filled that seam, and in doing so made it look like it was flush, potentially smoother through the airflow around this track. Again, speculation. Like Pato said, he's not an engineer. He doesn't know either. But the bottom line is the rule book says you cannot modify this attenuator. This is a part of the car that cannot be modified, period. Yet it was. That broke the rules.
I want to bring up a poll here because we've spent the last 2.5 segments talking about the Penske cheating scandal. Instead of talking about, we spent a little bit of time about Robert Shwartzman, but not as much time. I put out a poll out on SpeedFreaks Twitter. Biggest Indy 500 storyline, Shwartzman on pole or Penske DQ? I was actually kind of shocked by this. 63% voted for Shwartzman on pole over the Penske disqualification.
Oh,
yeah, there's let me read a couple of the responses here too. Chad Lowe says, that's a tough one. Prema didn't even exist last year. Now on pole. On the other hand, Penske has suffered 2 major DQs in 2 seasons. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. Lonnie says, who gives a crap about Penske, which was great. GJ says, we already know Penske cheats. Patrick, I would rather it be a great story rather than another Penske cheating scandal. Agent Stewart, Penske got caught, Who else?
Penske hatred out there.
You can't stress how odd this is when you own the series and your drivers are caught cheating again.
Conflict of interest.
And a gentleman who works for you, friend of the Freak Nation, Doug Bowles, who is president of Indianapolis Motor Speedway and with the IndyCar
and
series.
He's been promoted into an executive position with the series now too.
He's out there with the mouthpiece saying, a decision will likely be made after the race.
Which is not a good look.
Scott McLaughlin gets his first Indy 500 win Sunday afternoon. And then the news comes down that he's penalized points on Tuesday for an issue with the attenuator. But he can still keep his G-Dam trophy.
I think the potential penalties are only going to happen to the 2 and the 12. So I think Scott McLaughlin, if he were to go on to win the race, I have a feeling he would go on and be a safe winner.
So Will Power and Joseph Newgarden,
okay,
right?
Yes, Will Power.
Right,
and Newgarden.
got it. And if you recall, last year when Penske had those issues with the push to pass, that's the novice way to use it. When Joseph Newgarden swore, he said he wasn't a liar, that he didn't know he was breaking the rules when he continued to use that push to pass
at times that no one else was allowed to use it.
Scott McLaughlin was clearly aggravated with his teammate. And if Scott McLaughlin again gets associated with something, but I don't think that's a fact. It's not proven that he was or wasn't, right?
McLaughlin's car, McLaughlin's attenuator.
Yeah, Tim Cindric says, oh, no, it wasn't that way with McLaughlin, right?
But are there any pictures of it to
Right.
actually prove? No. He had a crash Sunday morning's practice, so we will not know at all, one way or another, if Scott McLaughlin's car was, the attenuator on his car was set up the same.
Look, every one of us have been to a motorsports race. And when it comes to the Indy 500, there are hundreds of media personnel covering that race. And we know a lot of these individuals that have lenses the size of freaking jet boats. Crasher, I bet someone has a strange shot of that attenuator of Scott McLaughlin. It's not that hard to miss if you're up on the back half of that car.
Okay, having said that, you know there are pictures of all 3 Penske cars going through qualifying on day 1 on Saturday. Somebody has to have some sort of an angle of their attenuators on that day.
Zapruder film, baby. Come on. Somebody get on it. Freak Nation. Go back. Check the tape.
Robert Shwartzman, rookie pole sitter for your 109th running of the Indy 500, will be here coming up in moments. We'll spend about a good 10, 15 minutes with him, Freak Nation. Next hour, Chris Blair, general manager of Wide Technology Raceway, which, Crasher, you found out some news about Shwartzman with that racetrack, right?
Funny, Robert Shwartzman has not ever raced or driven on an oval until many of you want to say, yeah, this month in the Indy 500, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Nope. Guess what? He had a test session at WWT Raceway just a few weeks ago. Race test / do your work on WWT Raceway one day, win the pole for the Indy 500 the next day.
So you're telling me that Chris Blair and Wide Technology Raceway played a part in this rookie sensations pole for 2025?
I mean, obviously.
Right? And I'm looking at the point standings. Yeah. There he is. All the way back to, holy smokes.
24th.
24th in points.
24th. His best finish he has had is 18th. This year.
They don't have the leader circle money. They don't have whatever this charter system may become.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any of that. But they're on the pole for the Indy 500. Honestly, flex.
Freak Nation coming up next. He's a rookie. He's sitting on the pole for the 109th running of the Indy 500. But I think once the mainstream news organizations catch up with what this individual did, the bigger news is going to be where he's from. We explain. It's coming up next. SpeedFreaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studios.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Freak Nation, get this. General Tire has launched a comprehensive Shield Plus Advantage plan for passenger and light truck tires. What that means for you is when you purchase General Tires, the Shield Plus Advantage plan lets you enjoy a complete package of multiple warranties and coverage to get the most from your tires. The plan applies to all General Tire passenger and light truck tires purchased as replacements in the U.S. and Canada with DOT serial numbers. For more information, hit them up on GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of SpeedFreaks for 2 decades.
This is Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke up 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive style. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, there are all kinds of firsts over our 25 years here with Speed Freaks, and this is the first. Robert Shwartzman joining us here in the Freak Nation. It's your first time in the Freak Nation, Shwartzman. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, because it's all about the Freak Nation right now. Yes, it's not about this little race that's going on.
I had to set it up like that, Crasher, because I'm about to drop some mad stats on you, my friend. Mario Andretti, Scott Dixon, AJ Fort, Parnelli Jones, Alex Palou. They haven't done what you've done, my friend, being a rookie driver and grabbing the pole for the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500, my friend. That's big news, buddy.
Thank you. It's honestly, I still can't believe that it happened. It's just a unbelievable journey that we've done, especially this week with the team. Massive thanks to them, to Chevy, to Prema. Honestly, it's been right approach since the beginning. We knew that we were coming. I'm a rookie. The team is a rookie, so it's very easy to make mistakes. And our target was just keep things simple and steady. Just step by step, improve, get the feeling with the car. Also for me, I've never raced in the oval, so I was like, it's super fast here. I just need to get some confidence. And at the end of the day, gradually we were improving, and we came to a stage where I was like, the car is really good. And even today, coming to in the top 12, we initially, the engineers were like, should we improve? Like, let's say, should we change a bit the car? Should we risk it? And at the beginning, I was like, yeah, well, we already did a good job at joining the top 12. And then at some point, I was like, coming to the racetrack, I was like, yeah, we should just stick to the simple things and, keep the car as it was. It was fast car. I have pretty good confidence, and, I just need to do my 4 laps and, put it wherever I'm going to put it. And at the end of the day, that's what happened. My last run was the best run so far I've ever done with this car on this track. And it was just like, it's just like 4 laps, sort of eyes closed, just floor it. And until the end, until I see, checker flag, I won't lift. And yeah, that was just amazing.
Freak Nation, he's a rookie. He's sitting on the pole for the 109th running of the Indy 500 right here in the Lucas Oil Studios and Speed Freaks pits. You walk into the hallowed grounds of the Indianapolis 500 and you see all these names and again, the drivers you're running up against. Who are you talking to most about how to drive this oval, the legendary oval of the Indianapolis 500?
I mean, I'm talking to, obviously, the people who I work with, my engineers. Ryan Briscoe, he is an ex-INDYCAR driver. He also had a pole position here. So definitely a good guy with good experience to speak about, how he should, approach qualifying and how you should do your job. And, generally the whole, people in the team, they were, supporting me, guiding me. We were working really closely together. And, we will have the same approach now for the next week for the race. And overall, I think, just people around me they've been just amazing this weekend. Honestly, we've just done everything right. I've never experienced such a smooth, qualifying execution in my career. And obviously this is the hardest qualifying of my life, of my career. And I said it, it's so intense. And, to keep calm and to keep things in order and make the whole running so smooth, honestly, I'm generally impressed by the people around me. So massive credit to them.
So to go back on a few things that you just said, did I get this right? From Saturday to Sunday, you did not change anything on the setup, but the conditions were better and you were a little bit smarter. You were one day smarter in how to tackle the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yes, that's more or less what happened. We didn't touch the car from Friday to Saturday. From Saturday to Sunday. We just knew that we had to adjust a little bit, few things depending on the temperature and the conditions of the track. But yeah, the car as it was just the same. I was just like, guys, I just need to keep things simple in order for me to really perform and, give my best out there. Just let's keep things simple. And that's what, the team trusted me to say, fine, let's do like that. If you feel it's better, we should stick to it. And that's what we've done. And, it worked. That's why it's very important to be wise and clever and to analyze things and know when to stop. It's a bit like sort of a gamble. You can win, but you always need to know when is the right time to stop. This is, the optimum, the best you have. Let's just not touch it. It's working, and we just need to continue working this way. And that's it.
Okay, so of course, the speculation on social media is just rampant right now. How did this happen? Yada, yada, yada. A couple of things. Is your engineer really from SpaceX? I want you to confirm or deny that rumor. And then secondly, this whole thing of you saying, keep it simple. Let's just go with what we know works. It's emphasizing what Will Buxton was saying about you on the Fox broadcast about just how wicked smart you are. You are a big reason. Of course, the engineers are great, but you as a driver are a big reason of why today, pole day, happened the way it did.
Thank you for that. I think we're all at the same level in the team. I don't want to get more credit than they do. I think overall we've all been together, and we work so hard with all of them. And without any of them, I wouldn't be in this position, I'm sure. And yes, it's true that my engineer is actually from SpaceX. He just came for this race. He was working at Penske. He was Joseph Newgarden engineer a couple of years ago. And then he started working at SpaceX. And, I was like, have you met Elon? And he was like, yeah, well, I saw him once. I was like, yeah. Well, and now after qualifying, I said, listen, let's take a picture together. And, later on, if you see Elon, just show him, this is how things are done.
A rocket ship of a different kind. This one's not going to space.
A rocket ship for me. Yeah, that's pretty much the same. It's actually his holidays, from what I understood. He came here on his holidays. And I think he was just like, listen, I'm building actual rocket ships, and now I need to build an INDYCAR rocket ship. And that's what he did.
Oh, my God. And the INDYCAR one stays on the ground. He just reverse engineer that thing. All right. So I'm just going to start the rumor now. You're going to have Elon Musk in your pits for the Indy500, right?
I hope so, but I don't know. I don't have his contact. So if he just randomly going to show up, he's always welcome.
Elon.
Freak Nation. His name is Robert Shwartzman, joining us here in the Freak Nation. 109th running of the Indianapolis 500, rookie pole sitter. And it's not lost on us what you've done. You're born in Tel Aviv, Israel. Given the terrain that we're in right now, the significance of you, my friend, not just qualifying for the world's greatest race, but sitting on the pole, what that means to Israel, your faith, your friends and family. Tell me about that.
I really hope and I want to believe that this is going to bring a lot of joy to Israeli people, and that they're going to be also to the people that are living here in the U.S. And generally around the world. And just want that they get, this achievement that I've done today as a sort of an example of, you just need to believe in life. You got to be a dreamer. You got to dream and you got to chase your dreams. You got to do things. You can't give up. You need to just keep going forward. And that's one day you're going to achieve them. I had quite a tough, let's say 4 or 5 years in my past with, all of the situation going on, in the world. And I didn't give up. There was moments where it was just like, why am I doing this? Like, people are just against me for no reason. And, they were judging me, and I was like, why should I do it? It doesn't work. This doesn't work, that. But I just no, I still I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going forward. And, here I am, I'm the same human being as all of you guys. And I just want people all over the world and, Israelis, just, keep believing in God, because this is what I do. I think that helps a lot. I think, generally, faith is a very, very powerful thing that we have, and we have to be, using that in the right way. And I want to believe that also today, God and maybe my dad as well up there helped me to achieve this.
Hey, Shwartzman, wait just a second here. You and I are not the same. You're sitting on the freaking pole, you bastard, on the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. I'm sitting here in a fake studio, buddy.
Yeah, well, you can come here if you want. There is a couple of seats here.
Bottom line, soak every minute of this week up, leading up into that race. I know this is your first go at it, but damn, you're going to have some memories. And we got to let you go. But if I did some research correctly, you're also a musician. I want to know your song. I want to see this all put to song and to video on YouTube sometime in June, because these emotions are real.
All right. Okay. I got you. The song is called Active. So if you want to go on Spotify, you can just check it out there.
Who's the one rapper, hip hop artist that you would love to see come up to your race car, Indianapolis 500 morning, and say, good luck?
I mean, I really would like if Eminem could join up. Honestly, that would be awesome. Like if Marshall would come up and just support me for the race, that would be just like a dream come true. Another dream come true. But I also respect and love other rappers as well. Like, it's not like, but yeah, the first one, the number one is going to be M.
Oh boy. Well, my friend, you've certainly lit the fire in a lot of people. You're gonna bring in a lot of eyeballs that we're gonna watch this damn race. Thanks to you, my friend. Congratulations on what you did today, buddy.
Thank you.
Coming up next hour, another Penske driver is pissed. We'll explain. Coming up next, SpeedFreaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive style. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
This is Wide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio.
Yes, it's true that my engineer is actually from SpaceX. He just came for this race. I mean, I really hope and I want to believe that this is going to bring a lot of joy to Israeli people.
The rule is pretty black and white, and those cars should have been in the last chance qualifier.
So if I was one of the other competitors, I would complain the same way.
And try again.
Yeah.
Live on the Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios, driven by General Tire.
Rock on, baby!
I am serious. Here's the Freaks.
Richard C. Suave's in the third wheel position tonight with Cole Cusimano hanging out in Las Vegas with all of his ecstasy friends. What do they call that festival out there, Richard C.?
It is called the Electric Daisy Carnival. Now, people in the know do not call it that, Kenny. They call it EDC at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cole Cusimano will be back here in the Freak Nation coming up next weekend. Maybe, if he does make it back from Las Vegas. Not sure about this. Just glad we got text from him throughout the weekend. Freak Nation, Joey Logano, a Roger Penske paid driver with the NASCAR Cup Series, three-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. He's not happy. Could it be because his team doesn't cheat to win like his INDYCAR teams?
No, but the series, that one not owned by Roger Penske.
Right.
They had their own form of cheating with what you called a bogus caution of Marcus Smith allowing Michael Waltrip to throw the yellow flag with only a handful of laps to go. And then the flag, and Joey Logano was leading at that point, mind you. And then the flag falls on the track, and the yellow was arguably a little longer than it should have been. And, well, that dictated the outcome of the race.
So, Freak Nation, there you go. There's the headline. Other than I'm seeing considerable amounts of action on Twitter, as the kids call it nowadays, Richie, that they were pretty happy with the short course race.
I was looking. I was scrolling the NASCAR Reddit. That's where I go. Okay, I stay off the Twitter now. The Twitter has gone down. The Twitter's gone down the drain when it comes to trying to understand the people. So I go to where the people go as the voice of the people on the show.
Okay.
I'm the voice of the people.
You are,
I went to Reddit. I was scrolling through. I was very, very shocked and surprised to find out that almost all of the comments I saw were positive. People love this, what they saw at North Wilkesboro, which was great. But as for a race, it doesn't matter. So that's unfortunate. A lot of people are asking for North Wilkesboro now to get a points race because of the type of racing that we saw. There were multiple grooves. The tires apparently had some tire wear, so that mattered a lot more than it has in the previous cases. I didn't get a chance to watch too much of the race because we're here in the show prep, so I was able to tune in and out and didn't quite see the end. But I did see a great battle between Kyle Larson and Joey Logano for a good solid 10 laps, and they were side by side the entire time. So the fans seem to really enjoy it. They won a points race. So that's cool. Good for them. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. Christopher Bell got the win. Joey Logano not happy.
I'm curious if someone from Reddit will dive down deep into history of Michael Waltrip and Joey Logano. I wonder if they have a beef.
Well, they do now.
Yeah, they do
that
now.
This was pre-planned, meaning Michael Waltrip. And so Marcus Smith said, Michael Waltrip, you're going to drop the yellow, this promoter's yellow. Of all the people to choose from, you get my least favorite personality in NASCAR, Michael Waltrip, to drop the yellow.
I really want to know how they came to this decision. I was shocked. Cody and I, we were doing our show prep before the show, and we were like, "Oh, when are they going to do this caution? What are they going to do?" And we had the audio on mute because we were editing, and we tuned to see who's in the box, and they had the 2-shot going of the on-track action and the dude in the box. And we were like, "Who is that guy in the box?
Dude in the box.
Why is this guy? Who is this guy? Oh, that's Michael Waltrip."
Oh my God!
And we were both like, "Why? Why is Michael Waltrip the guy that they chose to do this and drop the caution flag?"
It was easy. It was just the easy thing to do, right?
I guess so.
Does that garner more attention than Marcus Smith himself, the actual promoter, dropping the promoter's caution?
Well, the beef that went on last year between him and Indianapolis, you don't want the promoter, the owner of the track, to be dropping the yellow flag because of what might be perceived as favoritism. Oops.
Oh wait, that's what we're talking about in IndyCar right now.
Right.
Oh, how funny.
So, Freak Nation, there you go. Christopher Bell gets himself an all-star win. He's $1 million richer. Well, depending on how much of the cut he's going to get of that. But the story, of course, continues to be Roger Penske and his cheating IndyCar Series teams. That and the fact that we've got a rookie sitting on the pole for the 109th running. Not since 1983 has there been a rookie sitting on the pole for the Indy 500, Robert Shwartzman, who joined us last hour. And you can catch that full interview up on our YouTube page at Official SpeedFreaks. What a great interview. And part of the interview is talking about his favorite rapper because he is also a kind of a side gig of a musician. His favorite rap, who he would like to have come up, knock on that freaking window and go. What's the saying from his most famous song? You get one shot.
Yourself.
You get one shot. Lose yourself. Eminem.
In the moment.
Yeah. But again, you've got that headline and Roger Penske. If you look at our Twitter, currently this moment, that according to Twitter, the headline right now over Roger Penske, Richard C., is Robert Shwartzman.
That's correct. Go to check out our poll on Twitter. Biggest Indy 500 storyline: Shwartzman on pole, Penske DQ. Shwartzman on pole still has 64% of the vote. So people are choosing to be positive.
Yep.
I like
which I like. And Robert Shwartzman's a great story. I voted for the Penske disqualification in this because I like drama personally. So give me all the like a reality show, right? That's why I like F1. It's basically a traveling reality show. And that's what a disqualification brings. It's a dramatic reality show. And that's why I voted for the Penske disqualification. And we've proven it because that's all we've been talking about all show long.
Yes.
That's why I want to take a right turn, and I want to trust that my co-hosts here will not dig the rabbit holes that maybe some people would like to do. And I'm going to get serious just for a second. If you go back and listen to that and watch that interview with Robert Shwartzman.
It's on YouTube.
He is born from Tel Aviv, Israel, and there's a good 60 seconds where I bring up to him the significance of an Israeli sitting at the top of the pole for the Indy 500, and you get outside the walls of Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the INDYCAR series, what this means to that country. We're talking about Israel, and we're not going to get into the political side of this thing because we know that stuff can be maddening. Regardless, the significance of him sitting on the pole, and we confirmed or semi-confirmed there's never been a person from Israel to sit on the pole, right? That's the first one.
He is the first Israeli-born driver ever in the 109 runnings of the Indy 500. There's never been an Israeli-born driver ever.
Come on,
ever. 109 runnings of this race. He is the first. Coincidentally, he's sitting on the pole, but he is the first Israeli-born driver to run this race.
I think once the mainstream, I said this last hour, the mainstream press gets a hold of this and the significance of this race and the significance of an Israeli-born pole sitter. This guy wasn't vying for 32 or 33rd spot on the grid. He was running up against Scott Dixon, Pato O'Ward, Lundquist, or Rosenquist, right?
Mhm.
Rosenquist, and Alex Palou.
Yeah, Palou.
Almost
Dixon.
forgot.
Sorry.
He almost forgot the championship leader that's been dominating all season long.
Oh, yeah,
I was
that
shocked
guy.
that he didn't contend
I was too.
like I thought he was. I thought for sure he was going to take that pole, and he underperformed. Him and Scott Dixon both did.
Basically 5 teams, 5 different, very different teams went after the top 6 spots. That's pretty telling. I mean, we've been screaming for parity in the IndyCar series all year. Well, you kind of got it, at least to start the 109th running of the Indy 500.
And where does he sit in points? I'm going to spitball here for a second. Some things that we haven't thought about. We're lost in the excitement of, give me a 3 shot there, Cody. We're lost in the excitement of a rookie from Israel sitting on the pole for the 109th running of the Indy 500. And I get it. It's
With a rookie team from Italy. I mean, none of these engineers, or most of them, had not ever set foot at the hallowed grounds of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So we're talking the engineers, not just the driver,
Right.
but the engineers. Everybody was a rookie at Indy. Whew, and they still pulled this off.
It's going to come up sometime this week. I'll be surprised if this doesn't come up. Where he's sitting where in points, Richie?
He's 24th in points. His best finish is 18th. He did it at Long Beach, and he also finished 18th at the road course race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yeah.
It probably will come up. Do you want a rookie driver sitting on the front row of the world's most popular, most exciting race? And you know why I bring that up?
No.
You don't?
No.
Of any of the positions on that on that track, Crasher, to kick off the race, we've been there. You come around, and I'm not saying I agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. You come around turn 4, and you've never seen anything. Damn it, we got a break in 45 seconds. You've never seen anything like the front stretch of Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
In the turbulent air.
You've got a rookie driver leading on that front row going into turns 1 and 2 versus other individuals that have been going around that track for years experiencing the Indy 500. This dude's never done it. The inexperience of a rookie sitting on the pole.
You don't think he's going to be coached heavily by many veterans of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on how to take everyone into turn 1? Or do you think that Pato sitting third and Takuma sitting second aren't just going to leapfrog him going into turn 1? And anything's possible.
More on your rookie next. SpeedFreaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studio.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
For whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BACK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BACK to 42424. That's BACK to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
This is Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Thank you, General Tire, for making this segment possible. Go to generaltire.com to check out a line of tires to keep your Ford, your F-250. What about that snappy minivan you have, that Toyota minivan you have there in the car to haul your soccer kids around, helicopter dads? Go to generaltire.com. That's generaltire.com. We were talking about a number of things regarding the Indy 500, the controversial decision to push Roger Penske's teams to what numbers on the grid again?
They are now going to occupy the entire 12th row. Scott McLaughlin in 12th because of his crash earlier on Sunday, but they will be, 10, 11, 12.
And I was reminded quickly by Richard C. Suave of some other controversial issues with Roger Penske. Share with the Freak Nation a Nathan Brown post from what would you say, about a year ago? Roger?
No. This was
a month ago.
This was Nathan Brown of the Indy Star a month ago. And he retweeted it again just a little bit ago, and I will read directly from the article here. Penske Entertainment is discussing the prospect of creating independence around the group that officiates INDYCAR's on-track action, according to a source with direct knowledge of the discussions. A decision that, if adopted, would quell the lingering conflict of interest concerns that have simmered since Penske purchased INDYCAR, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and IMS Productions in early 2020, and then exploded in the wake of controversial restart call in the 2023 Indianapolis 500. Team Penske's push to pass scandal. And exactly 1 year ago, another questionable officiating call at the end of the 2024 Worldwide Technology Race.
Yeah, it's time.
This is going to be such a hot topic this week.
And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. This is not how sports should be governed, so to speak.
Joseph Newgarden.
Chose my words wrong.
Will Power, Scott McLaughlin are going to get pegged with questions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to rile them up again, Freak Nation. Mm-hmm. Speaking of worldwide technology, our friend Chris Blair, who, again, has the first oval after Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You go IMS, Detroit Grand Prix, and then on the oval at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Some news was dropped this week.
Go to www.traceway.com for your tickets. What was that news, Crasher?
Well, the news of some schedule changes. INDYCAR and Fox was listening to you guys, and some schedule changes came about, so we had to get Chris Blair on with us to discuss.
Chris Blair, General Manager of Worldwide Technology, joins us now. SpeedFreaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios. Freak Nation, Chris Blair, Executive Vice President, General Manager, Worldwide Technology Raceway, joining us here in the Freak Nation. And Chris, this morning the news dropped where you're going to have the first INDYCAR primetime race on a Sunday night that I can recall, the very first time ever. And I got the first question out of my mouth for you is, when did you see this coming, and why did this happen?
We saw it coming about a week ago, probably less than a week ago. Doug Bowles gave us a call. Well, first it started out, Michael Montry with the Penske organization. He asked if we would entertain the thoughts. And at first, the first time slot that they kind of threw out there was like, it didn't really make a lot of sense because it wasn't much of an improvement. Doug calls a little while later and says, hey, we're going to do this. Can you work with us on this? And here's the slot that they're giving. And the first question I had, I said, okay, we talking Central, we talking Eastern, what are we looking at? I want to make sure we're in the right time zone. Then when they confirmed it was, 8 o'clock Eastern spot, that made it a real easy decision real fast. And I think they're looking at it, why do we need to have NASCAR competing with INDYCAR? Why do we need to have Formula One competing with one or the other? Because it's one of those things when you go through and you're a true race fan and you're trying to bounce back and forth and you're wanting to watch it all, like you guys, like me. So it just makes sense for everybody for us to give this a shot. So hopefully we see some great success, and it could be a good moment for everybody. They always say, rising tide lifts all ships. So maybe it helps everybody, helps NASCAR, helps INDYCAR. See what we can do here.
Top of mind as we are in the middle of the month of May is obviously Memorial Day weekend and everything that goes along with that weekend. But Father's Day weekend, the weekend that we're talking about with INDYCAR at WWT Raceway, is arguably just as big because the 24 hours of Le Mans, that's now going to be wrapping up on Sunday morning. And then people can go and watch the NASCAR race, first time ever in Mexico City, and then wrap the night with INDYCAR under the lights at WWT Raceway. I mean, arguably that Sunday is going to be as big, maybe just a little bit less, but just almost as big as Memorial Day Sunday.
Damn, Craig, I need to have you cutting my spots. You got more enthusiasm. I mean, I think I'm just a little bit wore out because we've been going through the logistics of trying to make all this happen. But when you put it like that, damn, it's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yes.
So no, it should be a really, really great day, and I'm happy because we're at least getting to bring night racing back. That's something that we haven't been able to do since 2019. Our fans love it, we love it. There's just something special about racing at night. That's probably the first thing that I'll look at on this, and but then to cap off a great day all the way around for the racing, and just in sports in general, I think that's the same Sunday as. One of the big golf tournaments, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's that same day. And the thing I look at too for a lot of the people is now they can fulfill all the family commitments early in the day. They can go out to dinner, they can do church, whatever they want to do, and still get to the racetrack and not miss anything. So that's going to make it exciting. And I think it's just now, for us. We know it's going to impact some of our fans who travel from Indianapolis. That's about 12 to 15% of our audience, maybe a little bit higher. But I'm already getting texts from people locally who are excited about it because they want that night race experience again. So I think it's a fair trade-off and should see some success from that.
Chris Blair joining us here in the Freak Nation, Executive Vice President, General Manager, Worldwide Technology Raceway, friend of the Freak Nation. You've been a vocal opponent for ovals in the INDYCAR series. Damn it, you're the general manager of an oval track.
Yeah.
The problem has been selling tickets to these oval races. We see the street courses, road courses, where there are a lot of asses in the seats. Is this, I'm not going to say a make or break for INDYCAR, but this is really a litmus test for INDYCAR and ovals to see how many tickets you, the track, and the series can punch for Sunday night primetime racing.
It really is. I think one of the things you look at is when you go to one of those street races or a road course race, there's so many other things that can run along with that. Whether it's, IMSA at Long Beach or a Porsche group at another place or the Road to Mazda series. If you go to Road America, I mean, the full day, it's jam packed with racing action. When it comes to one of our oval tracks, you're really limited on what you can run with it. We have Silver Crown on Saturday night. On Sunday, we have Indy Next and the INDYCAR series, and then some exhibition vehicles of Vintage Indy. But you really can't cram it full where there's something for everybody on the actual racetrack. So that's where it puts the challenge to us to make the show entertaining, where people want to go there for that experience. when you go to St. Pete, I think more people are there for the party atmosphere than they are for for the race. And then the on-track product, nothing bad against any of the street courses, but there's a limited number of passes you're going to see. When you go to an oval race, last year, our oval track race, 676 passes during the race. There were 22 lead changes among 11 different drivers. That is absolutely unbelievable. You're not going to see that in any other form of racing. So we need to be able to get that product and take it onto a different stage or a bigger stage, which this Fox Primetime can do. And then hopefully that opens the eyes to a lot of people. I've always looked at it. I'm a huge World of Outlaws fan, as you guys know. And I always said IndyCars are kind of like the Outlaws, but on a bigger track. And having that ability for dive moves, utilizing the aerodynamics. You take a look at in our races, some of the things that have happened the last few years and some of the passes that have been made. And the oval races are just really, really good. And it's probably one of the greatest secrets in racing is how good an IndyCar oval race is when you look back at some of the things that have happened through the years. So hopefully this is our chance to showcase that. And and I've got a few ideas that I'm going to be throwing out there to Doug and Mr. Penske and everybody else on how we can make those shows more like a short track race that you would see at an Outlaw show, where we need to be adding more hardcore edge of your seat type of racing to keep these shows going and get people where they want to go there and be in the grandstands. That's the main thing. And it's just been frustrating because if you go on any of the websites and you hear all these IndyCar fans, they all say, "Oh, we need more ovals. We need more ovals." But then where the hell are they? And we've been fortunate. We've got a great sponsor with Bommarito who does a lot of great activations locally. We get butts in the seats here, but we need a lot more. And if we can do it, if we can accomplish that, that should open the eyes of some of the other racetracks that are out there that need programming to bring IndyCar back or give IndyCar a try for the first time, right?
And of course, Chris Blair, General Manager of Wide Technology Raceway. I'm telling you, Freak Nation, go to www.raceway.com to get your tickets. Make your plans now to join a hell of a race there in just outside of St. Louis, Southwest Illinois, Freak Nation. Mm-hmm. Coming up next, a gentleman who's won himself his share of titles. He's back in a race car. He's a Hall of Famer, Chris Dyson, sports car legend. Next, SpeedFreaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, get this. General Tire has launched a comprehensive Shield Plus Advantage plan for passenger and light truck tires. What that means for you is when you purchase General Tires, the Shield Plus Advantage plan lets you enjoy a complete package of multiple warranties and coverage to get the most from your tires. The plan applies to all General Tire passenger and light truck tires purchased as replacements in the U.S. and Canada with DOT serial numbers. For more information, hit them up on GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of SpeedFreaks for 2 decades.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for a professional detail or shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
This is Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1.25 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-5222. That's 800-885-5222. Again, that's 800-885-5222.
For whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, it's good to get Chris Dyson back here in the Freak Nation. He's got himself another title, and it came down earlier this year. Initial Hall of Fame inductee, Chris Dyson, multi-time sports car championship, father, the son of a hell of a sports car driver, and he's joining us now here in the Freak Nation, a recent race winner with the TransAm series here with the Freaks. So let's start with this whole Hall of Fame, and then we'll get into the accident, then we'll get into the latest race win. Let's start with the Hall of Fame because, yeah, you're in your late 40s, but I still think as Chris Dyson, a guy that maybe we need to wait 10 or 15 years before we put Chris Dyson and Ernie Francis Jr. of all people into a Hall of Fame. Chris Dyson.
You know, Kenny, I said to people when they've asked me about what it feels like, my career's still happening. So in some respects, it's really kind of cool to know that you made it and you're still living, you're still healthy, you're still thriving. I think it was a tremendous way of kind of underlining the success that I've had personally, while it's still happening.
I think you're onto something there because we get so caught up in the history of a baseball player, football player, sports car driver. When you've already accomplished what you have, we don't need to wait until you retire or until you pass, Chris Dyson, to know that you're going to be a Hall of Famer.
I'm just so thankful and kind of actually in disbelief over the fact that, you know, I'm kind of on the same level as a lot of guys who were not only my heroes, but they were my dad's heroes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I've certainly done more races than I'm going to do at this point in my career, but I think there's still some gas in the tank and there's still some mountains to climb. And I'm just still enjoying every minute of it. And just along the way to be honored in that kind of environment, it was an unbelievable feeling.
Okay, Hall of Famer, you've made it part of what it is, talking about the TransAm series, but you just said in a couple of answers ago, you've still got more left in the tank. You've still got more to give. What is that? Because outside of driving, you give some from just car ownership, some from just talking about the series, some from being, you know, in the media. What is Chris Dyson left to give to the sport of motorsports, to the series of TransAm?
Well, I'd like to believe that, you know, when it's all said and done, I'll have given back as more than I've taken from the sport. And whatever shape that takes, I don't know yet, to be honest. I've got, you know, a life that's been kind of centrally organized around racing for going on 3 decades here. And it's hard to imagine what life would be like without racing. And I've got kids, like you said, that are coming along and growing up. And I really enjoy the mentoring side of the sport. And as you said, we've got involvement in sports media around racing. So I don't think there will ever be a time for me where there's not some next thing that's in this sport to go get and to go achieve.
I love you saying mentoring, because I do see that a lot in the TransAm series, where whether it's TransAm, the top level, or TA2, there is a lot of camaraderie and gamesmanship, people helping others throughout that sport, which is what has made TransAm so solid over the last decade. Now, having said that, is part of this mentoring to your kids, or are they want nothing to do with it?
I don't know. We're not pushing it. I think with my sons and daughters, they really enjoy being at the races. They love the competition. It's up to them. I know that my elder son is very handy mechanically. He's really good behind the wheel when he does it. He's a tremendous athlete. And my little guy is just setting out in go-karts right now. And I know my daughters are just their own forces of nature. They're competitive athletes, but they're also really savvy.
Chris Dyson, multi-time sports car champion, joining us here in the Freak Nation, part of the inaugural class Trans-Am Hall of Famer, back in the race car after a pretty gnarly accident in Sebring, joining us here in the Freak Nation. I want to get that momentarily, but in this conversation, reminding me of, as we watched Indy 500 qualifying, got Graham Rahal, who continues to fight a car, and some are questioning his moves on the track with letting up on the gas a little bit too early or too much. Then you've got Scott McLaughlin, who wrecks his car in practice. The reason I brought up Scott McLaughlin, he's got a child. Graham Rahal has children. And you go to that accident with you at Sebring, where you're out of the car and you got to get Matty Brabs in the car. The big picture here for me, Chris, for you is, when I had my daughter, I had no desires to go out and get that other motorcycle or to take risks in cars or risks with certain sports, because now it's all about her. You at 47 years old, you have children on their way to success. How you can't tell me that hasn't affected you in a race car, knowing that you've got little Dysons outside this car that need their dad, right?
I think I might be the first person to be intervened on Freak Nation here. I'm sorry about that, Kevin. No, I have to say, I had my son when I was 30. I was at that point kind of established and racing, and still had a lot more I felt like to do in the sport. I have a supportive partner. My wife has been with me the whole way, and I think with the children, I think if you're thinking about what could happen, whether it's with kids in mind or with business in mind, you probably shouldn't be doing it, because if you're starting to kind of worry about those things, you got to remember the guys you're competing against, they aren't. I think that there's this weird fine line between kind of being careful and being worried. And I think those are two different things. And I've always been kind of in the car owner game. So, you're always worried about the equipment and by extension yourself. So that's kind of been its own restrainer on me the whole time. But I think also too, Kenny, I think it's made me do, having children, was it just made me focus, right? Because if you're doing it and you're taking the time away from them and you're going to be on the road and you're going to be missing, you better do a damn good job. And you better try to be as impeccable as you can with your preparation, because what you're not doing when you're racing is you're not spending time with them. And what I'm grateful for is that I think my kids recognize that a lot of those sacrifices that were made for their dad to be an athlete, and the amount of times I had to be away from stuff that they were doing, it paid off in success. I think it helped show them what success path looked like. And that's hopefully the lesson I got across to them, because I still feel very close with them. And I think, in point of fact, what racing does for me is it pushes my brain to a different level. It kind of ticks all the boxes competitive for me that I need, that there's nothing in life that can do that. And I think it makes me, when I come back home, a lot more grateful for everything else I've got. And I think it increases the quality of time I get with them.
Are you thinking about your kids immediately after that accident as you're getting out of the car, and what this means to them seeing their dad in pain?
Well, it was interesting about that because they were all there because that was the weekend of the Hall of Fame ceremony. And it was such a fluke freak accident that I think there was a lot of time that I was sort of processing it, that I couldn't really deal with anything other than what happened with the car, right? And physically, am I okay? And thankfully, like, we were able to solve both of those things. But what was difficult was actually like being home and my body not snapping back. You know, normally, like, you have a wreck. And I think this is something that as a young driver, you don't think about, even if you have a big wreck. And I've had several. Your body recovers. This was one of these times, though, where it wasn't. And unlike previous times where I was like strong-willed enough and kind of really like, kind of frankly, just single-minded, this was not happening in a way, the recovery wasn't happening in a way where I saw a clear pathway back. And I think it wasn't just for the kids, it was like, it was kind of for everything, right? Because, you know, I have business interests outside of racing, and, you know, whether, you know, I think you're threading the needle when you're in this sport between responsibility and kind of just raw edge competition. And that's fine as long as you don't get hurt. And that's the kind of gamble you're always taking, whether you're 24 and single or 47 with 4 kids. But you've got to know every time you get in the car that risk is always the same. The physics are always the same. So, you know, for me, there was a lot of reflection during about a month and a half of time where my body wasn't getting healthy. And, you know, I think I wasn't really worried about driving. I just wanted to get better. I just wanted my body to get better. And then when it did, it was like, okay, this is realistic. Maybe we should give this a shot again and see.
Freak Nation, the guy's got, TransAm championships, IMSA championships, a hell of a sports car pilot. You heard Hall of Fame, the inaugural class Hall of Fame for the Trans-Am series, Chris Dyson. Coming up next, sounds like we almost had a Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Kyle Busch All-Star episode post-race for the All Star Race in Wilkesboro. We'll explain next. SpeedFreaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Freak Nation, get this. General Tire has launched a comprehensive Shield Plus Advantage plan for passenger and light truck tires. What that means for you is when you purchase General Tires, the Shield Plus Advantage plan lets you enjoy a complete package of multiple warranties and coverage to get the most from your tires. The plan applies to all General Tire passenger and light truck tires purchased as replacements in the U.S. and Canada with DOT serial numbers. For more information, hit them up on GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of SpeedFreaks for 2 decades.
This is Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive style. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
This freaking segment brought to you by good friends at Straight Talk. Need more data to stream the freaks, your favorite jams? Do what smart folks do. Go to Straight Talk and get a real unlimited data deal on reliable 5G networks. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. It's been a fantastic couple hours here in the Freak Nation. I have never been so focused on a non-race in motorsports than what's transpired over the last 48, 72 hours with the Indianapolis 500 qualifying.
Yeah. Like you said, non-race. Yeah. It's crazy.
And these drivers fighting over one position. 34 drivers fighting for 33 spots. Not 44 drivers, but 34 drivers fighting for 33 spots. Which, credit to Fox for providing the hype for this race. I was engaged. Unlike I've been engaged with a number of these Fox Sports produced and hosted NASCAR Cup Series races.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, so here we are after the NASCAR All Star Race, after qualifying for the 109th running of the Indy 500, and we've got the NASCAR fan base saying, bye, Felicia, to the Fox producers and talent, and so happy that they're moving on to their next realm, whereas we have the INDYCAR audience going, give me more. We love what you're doing, Fox, aside from the commercials, but we love what you're doing. So it's so weird, the absolute polar opposites that we are seeing in racing fan bases right now.
I really appreciated when Chris Myers came on the show and he referred to the Indianapolis 500 to Colton Herta's face as the Daytona 500.
He called it the Daytona 500 on numerous occasions. And didn't he, if I'm seeing correctly on Twitter, I missed this one, but I see that he also potentially mispronounced Colton's name.
Yeah, I didn't hear that during the, I didn't hear that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Who would mispronounce a name?
Oh, right. None of us.
No.
Okay, valid. You have a very good point right there. Here's something. Okay, and I brought this up on Twitter as well. Sorry. Here's something that really made me mad. I thought INDYCAR on Fox did overall a spectacular job on the weekend, but my goodness, the big heart-thumping story of the end of Sunday going right into the Fast Six was the Penske cheating scandal. And the man who allegedly uncovered it was, which I have some interesting DMs about this very scenario of Chip Ganassi finger in the chest of somebody from IndyCar Tech on pit lane. Chip was the one that called it out. If Tech wasn't going to do something, he was going to stand up and do something even more detrimental to the team. You've got Chip sitting up there right before the top 6 cars go with Chris Myers and Danica Patrick. You only had time for 2 questions. Neither one of those 2 questions was anything related to him calling out Roger Penske's team in the middle of pit lane. Why? You have this burning story. You did 0 to address it. Even if Ganassi PR said he'll come on stage with you, he'll come in the booth with you, but you're not allowed to ask him about the scandal, then that's when you as a smart producer says, well, we don't have time for him then, because that's really all anybody wants to hear right now. The question that came out of Danica's mouth, I was like, I don't care about this. I want to know what he saw, why he was screaming at IndyCar Tech, and how he was the one to make things happen. Nothing.
It was so glaring that even the most ancillary fans were going, why didn't you ask Chip Ganassi what the problem was? Because they were saying it on the broadcast that Chip Ganassi spotted this issue, and he's on your damn set. And you don't ask him?
That was a fail.
As a producer, you say, okay, he's only coming on the set. Oh, he's not going to answer it? Okay, we've got to ask him the question. Let him say no comment.
Right.
That's what you do as a producer. You're saying, then we're not going to have him on.
Because we as a show, we as talent have to at least get that out there. Yeah, you're exactly right.
It gets back into that shade where we're talking about with Roger Penske and Penske Entertainment owning the IndyCar series, owning the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm not trying to put it in the same lane as the cheating scandal, but I'm putting it in the same lane as the cheating scandal. It's like, well, Chip, you're mother effing freaking Roger Penske's team on the grid. Someone needs to ask her.
Yet you come in the booth and we don't touch it. Why do we not touch it? It makes it seem like, are you scared to talk about it? This is the biggest story. This was before Robert Shwartzman went on pole. This was the biggest story of the day. 0 when the man who broke the story allegedly was sitting there on the desk with you.
It's so evident. It just tells me that something else was going on. It was the right thing, the most obvious thing to do. It just tells me something else was going on. Why there wasn't a pit reporter chasing down Chip Ganassi.
Oh, that's valid too. That never happened.
We never saw that.
You're right.
Maybe there's such a rift. We've talked to Ganassi 20 plus years ago about chasing Roger Penske and the championships. And Ganassi's getting up there with these championships in all the series where Roger Penske's won. I'm wondering what there is there. Was there a directive from the Ganassi camp? And we know Chip very well. Was there a directive like he needs to keep his mouth shut because of the drivers that he has in those race cars that could possibly be affected?
Ooh, then that opens up a whole nother can of worms. So you're not allowed to be honest. You're not allowed to be truthful. You're not allowed to be transparent.
Crash. I'm not saying it happened.
I know, but you're right. It screams something else is up, and fans deserve better.
But I'll be damned, Ty Dillon wants to kick Zane Smith's ass in the NASCAR Cup Series. Is that right, Richard C. Suave?
That is true. Apparently, they had Ty Dillon and Zane Smith had a run-in during the NASCAR All Star entry thing, whatever the heck. I don't even know, what do they call it? The thing,
the open,
the qualifying thing before you get in the thing. Anyway, can you tell? I really didn't give. I didn't care about the All Star race today.
Stand in line.
But I'm for the people of the show. I am the voice of the people and the voice of the fans. So I'm gonna explain to you what you missed. Because a lot of people probably didn't watch this, so I'm going to tell them what happened. So apparently there was a confrontation on track between these two guys, and then they got in a little. Ty Dillon finished third in the pre-open NASCAR or whatever, and the thing. So he missed out on the big race, and he got angry with Zane Smith because they had a little on-track tussle, which led to Ty Dillon after the race saying, "If he wrecks me again, I'm just going to beat his ass." Referring to Zane Smith. So Zane Smith took to Twitter and said the following in reply to a Dirty Mo Media tweet about this, basically saying he ain't going to beat anybody's ass. So there's some beef there. We have NASCAR beef.
Well, I think Cody one of our excellent producers of this fine show this Sunday night brought up a great point. Like, who wins? Does the tall Ty Dillon, grandson of Richard C. Childress,
Hold my watch, Childress,
win in a battle between him and Zane Smith? Zane Smith's smaller, maybe he's quicker, maybe he's got more ninja skills. Talking about Zane Smith versus a Brutus like Ty Dillon. Who wins this damn thing if it does come down to fisticuffs? Can you see how bad we're scrambling to find a freaking headline for this damn race? After what happened last year where, holy smokes, what an S show. We were looking for so many things to try and cover the first 30 minutes of our show last year. Then all of a sudden Ricky Stenhouse punched Kyle Busch in the face. It's like, done. We got our show, man. But now the biggest controversy is a controversial yellow flag that literally fell on the G-damn track from Michael Waltrip.
What an all-star race. Hey, Christopher Bell, congratulations. Hey, Tony Stewart, congratulations.
Yep.
Yet another NHRA Top Fuel win. He's been in the finals the last 4 events. He's not your points leader.
He was your points leader going into this weekend.
Again, your points leader.
But again, 2 race wins this year for Tony Stewart, who couldn't find a win last year. Holy.
And guess what Tony Stewart's doing next weekend? He's joining the Indy 500 broadcast coverage on Fox. So you get to hear from the most recent Top Fuel winner in the NHRA, chopping his gums and flapping his gums, what I meant to say, with the Indy 500. So yeah.
Is anybody else thinking the same thing that I'm thinking, though?
What?
When Tony Stewart was Danica Patrick's team owner.
And now Tony and Danica.
And some of the issues that they had, not all of them came to light. I'm looking forward to the first time they're with each other on set. And who looks at who funny with Tony Stewart and Danica Patrick. Mark my words, Freak Nation. Watch the relationship between Tony Stewart and Danica Patrick next week for the Indy 500.
Robert Shwartzman plus 650 to win the Indianapolis 500. You going to place a bet? You doing it?
Oh,
Pole setter?
He was 500-1 back in January.
Freak Nation. We'll do it again next Sunday night after the Coca-Cola 600, maybe, or during. And, of course, after the Indy 500. Later.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add 1 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. 1 bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive style. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With straight savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight savings plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
This is Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.